Alrighty guys, so this is now my first official video, and I've really wanted to do this since I first started collecting comic books. I always wanted to see somebody do a full run of Batman. Now, it's not a full run. I'm starting at 300, and there's missing pieces in the 300s, but there aren't really any videos breaking down the entire collection from that run, like showing each and every individual book. So this is going to be a really long video. It's going to be really poorly made, because I've never made one before, really. But yeah, I hope you enjoy, faults and all. And yeah, let's start right now. This is going to be the only cut in the entire video because I have to make a little bit of a setup here. So all right, I'll be back to you in just 1 second. Okay, so this is the jankiest setup you're ever gonna see in a video, but here it is. We got the long bots hanging off the edges, but we'll start at issue 300. So here's this guy. Anniversary issue, pretty clean. Then the follow-up issue. Batman with a firearm. What's going on, man? This is in year 2. Batman 302. Now, a lot of these guys were sorry, improper English, were picked up at Mint Hunter's fine establishment. This is kind of very reminiscent of like a 200s issue. Lots of dead Batman right now, but what are you gonna do? All right, Batman 305. So as you'll see, for the first, I'm not sure how many issues, I think it's 17. For the first 17 issues, I have all of the 300s, but then it kind of gets a little hairy. So 306. You'll hear me fidgeting around with the lawn bots to my left, but hey, nobody ever said this was some kind of professional gig. So I believe for a key, let's see if it's on the back. It is not. I believe for a key, this is the first appearance of Lucius Fox. I might be wrong. Regardless, a very interesting cover. She is cooped out of her mind. Then we got 308. This is another key. But honestly, at this moment, I could not tell you. Regardless, cool little Mr. Freeze cover right there. Him very Fallout 4 reminiscent. Very cool. Oh, here's a Christmas issue with Blockbuster. Haven't really thought of him as a Christmas villain, but, you know. Oh. Gentleman Ghost. Big fan of this guy. Brave and the Bold really, you know, brought him to the forefront in my mind. Oh, Batgirl, Dr. Phosphorus. He's back. Very threatening assertion. 312. Calendar Man. Awful design. Horrendous. But they say hindsight is 2020 or maybe 2024, shall I say. That's a horrible joke. Here's a Whitman. This is first Tim Fox, I believe. This book was really, really expensive for a long time, but this is a cheaper copy. There you go. You got Two-Face. The starred side of the coin has come up. Then Two-Face strikes again, twice as deadly as before. Two-Face again. I love these covers where Batman's dangling. There's a couple, like, plain ones. Oh, here's a nice cover. Batman 315. I really like the orange, and I like the black, and I like him and Kite Man, I believe. Let's see. Special guest star, Robin, the Boy Wonder. Oh, here you go. Him and It's not Fire, it's Firebug. And who gives a hell about him, right? Gentleman Ghost again. This guy, he's like a bad penny. He always turns up, it seems like. All right, and then 320. I always see this book all over the place. This is a bad penny. This guy turns up regardless. Here is a great Joker cover. Oh my God. Beautiful. Low grade copy, but I really didn't want to throw out for this much, so low grade. And as you can see now we're kind of out of the order. This reminds me so much of, there's a 200 cover. Now this is bothering me, whatever that is. This reminds me of a 200 cover that's sort of like a Evel Knievel inspired motorcycle race. This guy's really low grade too. Really beat up on the staple, but cool 300 regardless. See, covers like this, it always feels like too much is going on. You got the gun here, you got the old lady down here, this is old man down here. You got whatever's happening here. A court found me not guilty of murder, but I did kill the victim, and you'll never prove it, Batman. All right, so here is another stack of comics. So, you have the first appearance of the Electrocutioner, who has one of the most hilarious failures of a Batman villain to ever fight Batman in Arkham Origins. He gets absolutely beat down on, and then he gets thrown out of a window by the Joker. This cover is tremendous. And down. This is just, he's on a slope, there's yellow. I love yellow in covers. He's getting shot at. Just tremendous. Tremendous. Poison Ivy is back, plus Robin looks back on yesterday's heroes. Some spine tits, Poison Ivy. But a neat cover. This is another minor key, but Dr. Death, pretty neat. Ooh, very nice. Nightmare in Crimson, 350. Here's this cover. That sticker is a little askewed, but what are you gonna do? What starts the Gotham Knight? I'm betting odds are this guy. Here's another. This is a key for a very slim key, but I forget what it's a key for. Regardless, you have Hugo Strange here, and you have this poor hunchback man. Oh, is that Rupert Thorne? Oh my God, Rupert. The days haven't been kind. Now, here is I think this is a cameo for Killer Croc, and then I think it's a first appearance of Jason Todd. This is a lie. This is from Connecticut. This is some store. But that is a really obnoxious sticker. And it doesn't say anything on the back. Here's a cover appearance of Killer Croc. Lovely. They all seem very amused. Riddler kind of seems less than enthused. Here's Riddler, though, here. A hilarious cover. Riddle me this. Who says crime doesn't pay? I do. And this is only $10. It says 20, but it was half off. Famous Joker cover. And it relates to Jason. I can't remember. But very cool. Here's a Poison Ivy related book. This cover was always super disorienting to me whenever I watched it on camera, so it's probably going to be the same for you. But the way the vines were, when you see it in person, it looks a lot nicer. This is a key for Jason Todd. This is autograph right there. You know what? Let me check this real quick. Because I never opened that, but I never saw an autograph on the outside. But I think it... No. Pulling my tail. Yeah. I have no idea what that's about. Sorry about that faux pas that's just been added to this video. But what are you gonna do? All right, Deadshot is back. I mean, who would have known? He really makes himself well known in this. Oh, George Perez, rest in peace. Rest in peace, my friend. All right, this is a great cover. But again, a lot of stuff going on here. Catman, not Batman, but this is what a nerdy outfit. Okay, how can you ever work for this criminal? How can any self-respecting criminal work for a guy like Catman? I mean, not to say Joker's any better looking, but come on, he's got a neater outfit. Again, you can see a lot of My Comic Shop stickers. They came very in handy when I was putting together a lot of this run, but it's not complete. When we get to 366, so what? Oh, we're past that point. Now we're at the point where I have everything. Everything. Perils the Penguin. This is a great cover. I mean, look at Batman right here. He's just swinging in, shadowy. Okay, Mr. Freeze. Really kind of a poorly designed Mr. Freeze outfit, in my opinion. Just not a huge fan of that guy. Nightmares, Inc. This is a cool cover. Here's another cool Robin. Oop, bad crinkle noises down here. Batman Unmasking. And whatever the heck's going on here. Oh, looks like Mad Hatter right there. It is. It is. What do you know, Joe? This is whoever this Gimp is. This is a poorly... I don't know what this outfit is, my friend. All right. So now I'm going to pull right until 400. So now we'll be getting out of the realm of the 300s. Okay. This guy. This town isn't big enough for two Batman. Just one, right? There's only enough room in this town for one mentally deranged man in a bat suit and several villains. In Search of Catwoman. 382. Another great cover right here. Come on. All the colors. Great colors. And I have two of them. Which I didn't realize. Okay. All right. Let me just readjust the stack right here. So I can have peace of mind. Let's see. All right, that's good enough. Calendar Man again. Night of Peril, Day of Doom. That's really foreboding, Batman. Here's a big book. 85. I don't know if that was a little pricey. Who knows? Who knows? This is in kind of desperate need of a new bag. What are you going to do? There's another Black Mask book. Behind the Black Mask. I've read this, not in this form, but I've read it in collected edition. It's a interesting read. My first big introduction to Black Mask was from Arkham City, which is funny because he has like such a small appearance in Arkham City. It's really quite negligible. But still, he made one hell of an impression. Oh, I remember. It's because I read a Black Mask comic back when I was a kid. And I was really sucked in. So 388. This is a great cover. The pink, are you kidding me? $3.89 and $2. Who can go wrong, right? Who can go wrong? 390. 391. Grim Reaper kind of cover. This guy again. This is where I'm a bad Batman fan. Who is this man? Have you seen this man? A Night on the Town. This is a great little read. Just a fun little read. Great cover again. Illumination, all these knives flying at him. 393. Very few keys in this 90s run. There is one right in the 90s, but there's one right after. 394. First Film Freak. Okay, newsstand. Not that it really mattered in the early 80s, but what are you gonna do? First appearance of Film Freak. This is a better. Actually, I like both covers equally, but this is kind of a sick cover, right? Then you got Two-Face. Face the Face with Two-Face. Then you got Two-Face yet again, and Catwoman leaving. Help me, Catwoman, before Two-Face buries me alive. Sorry, sport. This time, you're on your own. Not very nice, Catwoman. This cover, very pre-code horror reminiscent. Pretty violent, too. Her eyes are, her or him, I mean, it could be, the gender is not really known here. It's, but their head is really beat up. This is, yeah, very kind of dark, sinister. This is a great read. I think anybody should read this. Now, the comic is, I mean, obviously it's anthology, and it's a couple different stories in here. It's all written by Doug Mahnke. Well, I don't think it's anthology. I can't remember the story, actually. But it's decent, and it's got such an insane list of just wonderful artists, and it's got this great Stephen King introduction, and I'm a huge fan of this. I think everybody should pick that book up. So, we'll grab another stack. Now we're into the 400s. So, I know this video is going to be very long, but, hey, you know, if you want to look at Batman for an hour or whatever it's going to be, then you get to look at Batman for an hour. And there is going to be one more cut, so that's Magpie right there. Not a huge fan of Magpie, but that's an interesting story right there. Here we go, 402. Again, this is where there's a, there's like a not a doppelganger, a man who thinks he's Batman, and he dresses up, but he kills as Batman, and of course there's some question of who it is. Here, you know, this, of course, this need no introduction, okay? 404, part 1, in the beautiful story by David Mazzucchelli and Frank Miller. Of course, Frank Miller should go first in that sentence, because he's the writer, but I know I'm mispronouncing David's last name, but David's art is just so damn good in this book. And, I mean, the covers are just a taste. And if you haven't read Year One, you're, like, severely missing out. It's just, and I know everybody says to read it, but you do. You gotta read it at least once. So here's 405, a newsstand. Here's 406. This is my least favorite cover, but it's still very good. You see Batman Illumin in the back there. All these guys with their M16s, just lights flashing after the old tenement building gets blown up. Then you got this cover. Oh my God. Look at it. A beauty. 407. Just a tremendous book. Tremendous. Black and white with some grays. Oh, here's another book. 408. Okay, this is the retelling of his origin story. This guy, Jason, he's an interesting kid. I never really liked him when I was younger. But when you get older, you're like, he's just a normal kid. All the hate. I mean, it's really just because they wanted to get rid of him. 409, this is an interesting read. This lady is very interesting. Two-Face. Holding poor Jason up. Two-Face again. Oh, the mime. This is a kind of story. Same as this, but great cover. No, it's not. I'm not even a huge fan of this cover, but it's interesting. This is a great cover. This is not a long story, but it's like a, the payoff comes at the end. Because you hear about these killers, all these killings, and Batman doesn't solve it. Because the fact is he can't solve it immediately. This is such a great cover. I love, love, love this cover. The pink and the white, it really pops. Here's another great cover. Now, there's somebody who did the inks on this. I wonder if they would have it in the book, because they're kind of a big name. And when I say the name, I think everybody's going to recognize it. I know who it was. It was Bill Sienkiewicz, but I'll check it anyway. Who was the inker? Mike DiCarlo. I was wrong. I couldn't remember who I was thinking it was. Regardless, back in the bag it goes. But a great read, and I just read this one not too long ago. And if you're coming from the Instagram page, which no doubt you are, you probably saw me read this. Here's Night of the Beast, 10 Nights of the Beast, #1. It's a decent story, but once you've read it once, it's kind of hard to keep rereading it. And I've reread it like twice or 3 times at this point. So I've had enough of KG Beast. But great covers. Just tremendous covers. Here's another great one. And another one. And that's the conclusion. Now, I believe this is the follow-up to that previous story I was talking about. There's a homeless man, and he takes this poor woman as his wife, because he's severely mentally ill. And Batman finds her, and hell is raised. And now we get to see old Bruce here with the knife. Also, really old bag. 50 cents from, where is this? Matt's Sports Cards. I got this a while ago. Oh, yes, I remember. This is in Central Connecticut. And here's another one. This is in a much nicer bag. Okay, here's the big book, but I want to let you guys down easy. It's a second printing, but still widely appreciated by a lot of people, and I like it. I think the story is very good, but this copy is kind of beat up. There's a stain down there, Not a whole lot of spine tits, actually, but there is spine stress on it. But what are you gonna do? I didn't want to shell out the price for first printing when I first got this, so I stuck with this one, and I'm happy enough. I don't love this book, so second printing was fine by me. Oh, here's a great cover. Let me drop down another stack of books. Drop up, better wording. All right, Batman 424. This is a great comic. He ends up, it's the question of, does he kill this guy or does he not? And I think he killed him, or he told him something that made him want to kill himself. But anyway, then his dad takes retribution after his death. And speaking of death in the family, so book 1. Just feels like a couple minutes ago that Jason was introduced, and now he's already being killed off. Part 2. Part 3, poor Jason. Don't mind these stickers. It's from when I purchased it, but very nice cover. Beat up copy, but what are you gonna do? Well loved, we'll say, right? 429. This great, very, 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 how do you say? He's very high society right here, Joker is. A great cover. God, this is so good. I love him running on the city towers. You got the pink in the background. Just lovely. Somewhere below there lurks a madman with a rifle and a secret the Batman dare not face. Somewhere below is the fatal wish. Oh my God, another great cover. I love this piece. Just one of the best out there. And I got two of them. This wasn't because I loved that cover. It was really because before I got CLZ, I never knew when I had a book. And so I would buy duplicates all the time. And then eventually I was like, I got to stop doing this. So Batman by Owsley Aparo. This is this is kind of an ad read. This is a pretty decent read. John Byrne. And I don't really want to show all three in a row. So we'll do one, right? Then two. Then three. Three is the best. Then you got Year 3. Year 3 is all right. But they were really just trying to beat the hell out of this dead horse. You got Year 1, you got Year 2, you got Year 3. God. And by the end of it, if I was reading comics back in, what is this, 90? No, probably still the 80s at this point. Probably in the late 90s. I was still reading comics. If I was reading comics at this point, I'd be like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. We've had enough. Part 3 of Year 3. 439. This is an interesting cover. But, again, a lot going on. There's pages going off in the wind. There's a tower. There's Nightwing holding on by a bare thread. There's a man trying to strike him. There's the poor nun right there. There's Batman lurking. I mean, so much going on. Still cool. Lonely Place of Dying. This is where Timmy is introduced. Now, I don't have the Teen Titans issues, but what are you going to do? Newsstand. And 441. Oh, I have two of these. Again, I have a habit of picking up a lot of copies of these books. At least I used to. I'm better now. This guy. There seems to be some fading on this, but still, pretty cool comic. And DC Comics aren't just for kids. I want you to know that. Then you got 443. Intense cover. Head exploding. I mean, come on, man. Brutal. So now we're getting towards the end. The end of the road, man. The end of the road. So this is when... So Stockton the Crimesmith, different story. I forget what this is. Oh, I think there's something, and something gets tied to Russia. I can't remember, but 444. Then you got 445. Pretty neat issue. Then you got 446. 447. 448. Poor Penguin Affair. This is... Harold is such a nice guy. He gets horribly used by the Penguin. 449. There's a part 2. Oh, I don't have part 2. I forget because it's not in the main Batman title. Here's a great little Joker cover right here. July 10th, 1999. 1990, I mean, not 99. That's where the imposter takes over. Then Joker kind of gets his mojo back. Here's Dark Knight, Dark City, newsstand. This is a great read. A funky read. Great read, though. All right. Riddler's kind of a major player in this story, and it's pretty dark. A lot of these are my Halloween books, 455. And I'm trying to think when I fell off reading, but this is a great cover. Tim really just starts tripping, and he sees Jason Todd, who's dead, of course, and he sees Dick, but Dick's still alive, so it's not like it's some sort of, okay, this is a nice cover. This is a nice book, too. And this is the Indica variant, I think is what it is. So instead of 457 on the interior, it is 000. Then you got 458. Again, another depressing. They all try and get after Harold, and it turns out, no, Harold's a good guy. He didn't do anything. I can't remember if I reread this. Yes, I did. 459. This is a sad read. He kind of meets Sarah Essen again, not to justify his cheating. He meets Sarah Essen again, and then they kind of go out, and then he has heart issues, and it's pretty depressing. Now, I think this is where I am not caught up. Yes. So after this, I have not read. So 460. I mean, until Nightfall. 461. See, I don't know about these 462. I don't know about these brown backing boards. I don't know what's up with this. I bought this from God knows where, and this is a really neat cover, though. Somewhere far west of Gotham City, Batman's life will change. Are you sure about that? 463. Then you got 464. Then 65. Great cover. Oh my God, just wonderful. This reminds me of that. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but that Wolverine meme where he's just like, all the X-Men. Wonder what's happening with Logan, and then he's just strapped to the ICBM, just flying. That's what this reminds me of, and this is just a goofy cover. Rocket launcher. Well, not a rocket launcher. This looks like anyway, Sea King. But interesting cover. This is where we're starting to get into that. I don't really care for these covers. Like this. You got King Snake, sure, but it's kind of, I don't know. All right, then we got the main man coming up. Not the main man. Not Lobo, but a really interesting character nonetheless. We have this guy, Matsy Zeus. Just absolute goofball. You got Killer Croc. Up to his Killer Croc things. I think I used to have 2 copies of that. 472. This is an interesting cover. I really like. I mess with this one heavy. 473. Just smashed on the head. Again, not too hot on this cover. 474. First Renee Montoya. I can't remember if I overspent on this. Probably did. But there's my green painter's tape. 476. Interesting cover. Oh, these funky covers. 477 and 478 respectively are just bizarre. Really just weird. I understand. Well, so the whole idea is that if you lay these next to each other, like you do it this way, look, it makes one full image. But I still think they're really goofy. And I have 2 of those. Again, Life Without CLZ. This is a funky cover too. Just her face is odd. Honestly, she's got Frank Miller face going on right now. And I got 2 of those. I have a thing right here where I have 2 of all of these 3 in a row, so I have 2 of these guys. It looks like he's trying to attack this, this crippled man. He's trying to attack Tim's dad. There's Matsy again. Just oddball of the century. Then you got 482. This is a decent cover. I kind of like this one. But I think it's the colors I like more than the cover itself. This one's pretty good. Running with all the masks in his hand. Just getting after. 484. Black Mask. This one's kind of goofy too. But it's neat. It's got some charm. 45. Ooh, almost man down. This is a horrible cover. I can't stand this cover. Oh, speaking of covers I can't stand. We're coming up on one. And then now we're going to be at the end of the road for this box. And then it'll be on to the next one. So, this cover is just bad. You have Headhunter. What's this large black obelisk in the center? Stupid. Then there's the city right here. None of this is good. And the artist behind this is some of the previous covers are pretty decent. This is just so bad. and you can't justify it to me. This is a better cover. I mean, come on. But still, this is third appearance of Bane, but it is a second print, so not worth as much as the other ones. But speaking of first and second, here's a newsie of $4.90, and then a second print of $4.90. Bad cover. Not a fan of this. But I saw the regular, and I said, you know what? Let's splurge. Now, speaking of great covers, Spud Comics, who you should all follow if you haven't already on Instagram, and she also has a YouTube. She posted this recently, and I posted this before too. What is this guy's saliva issue right here? It's something fierce. I don't know if he's maybe got GERDs or something. He's got acid reflux, but this is bad. He's got to get it checked out. And then Joker with his really spiky hair, man. I mean, come on. Corral that thing. Then you got $4.90. Oh, wait. $4.91. Okay, we're still in line. $4.92. Then you got part 1 of Nightfall, and it's the newsstand, so kind of neat. Then you got freaking, is that Zaz right there? That dirtbag? Yeah, you got Zaz coming down to stab. Kelly Jones, just tremendous art. Again, Joker in the States. These I've all read. These are very good. Nightfall's very good. Here's a very nice Poison Ivy cover, and I have 2 of them. One's a newsstand, and what, $12 is ridiculous. I don't think I paid $12, but if I did, somebody really needed to slap me back then. But this is an intense cover. Blood all over his hand. Joker being Jason clearly in the background. Like, come on, dude, do it. Like, how many, like, doing his famous quote, how many people has he killed? You know, all that same more stuff. Then you got Bane breaking Batman's back. $5, decent price, right? For such an iconic book. Then him holding the bat cowl. Kind of a stupid cover, but not stupid. I'm being judgmental. I just think I think Bane looks kind of, well, he looks how he should. I'm hating. Then you got $4.99. Again, him attacking people in wheelchairs. This is Hasbro, it looks like, but still. Then you got $500. You're going to see a couple more. I think I still have more than just one. But let's look in the other box. So I was going to cut right here, but I'm realizing I don't really want to do all that work. So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to grab out from here and we're just going to steam right ahead. So here's another 500, except this one is a newsstand. And here's another 500. You notice I have a lot of these. I didn't spend $20. I hope to God I didn't. I really would slap myself if I did. So, and there's 501. Again, another newsstand. 502, a newsstand. Which I hate saying over and over, but it's the truth. 503, not a newsstand. Lots of Catwoman. 504. Oh, my leg was asleep. Now it's waking up. 505. This is a great cover, too. Just so ominous. 506. I think I always misread this as 508. So this was in the wrong order for the longest time. 507. 508. Again, my comic shop coming in clutch. 509. 0. I think that's what the order it falls in, if I am correct. 510. This is Night's End at that point. 0 Hour. This is an interesting cover. That one. And then there's poor Oracle down there. 512. The old Killer Croc. 513. with a newsstand. 514. This is a great cover. All right. So now we're gonna have to get up, grab some more out. So while I'm doing this, I guess we can talk about the weather, how it is, how it's going. You know, something calming, something something uninteresting, something to just, you know, pass the time. All right, here we go. So, this guy, I don't think you'll be able to pick up at all on the camera, but you can kind of see his silhouette. Then you got 516. This is a great cover. Just him on all the skulls. 517. 518. 519. 520. Sorry about all the glimmer and gloss. 521. Again, this is where they kind of lose me. Because as much as I love this era, because I owned a lot of comics from the 90s, it's where I just think it gets really stylized, and I respect the hell out of that. You know, I wish I could draw like that, but I can't. And the fact is that, you know, I just think this is oh my God. I've never really looked at this cover. Holy, this is just beautiful. 524, it's a newsstand. Scarecrow in the back. That's just sweet, man. This is a pretty good cover too. With Mr. Freeze. I'm sure Broke Boy would get one hell of a kick out of this comic. I bet he already owns it. 520 sets. Great issue. With Alfred. A little bit heavier now. It seems like he's tired of Master Bruce leaving leftovers. He's eating them. 527. 528. 529. First thing of Contagion, I believe. 530. 531, Dead Man. 532. 533. 534. 535. This is a variant. There's two different covers. I have a bunch of these. Final Night. I have a couple of these. I have a Detective Comics issue, I believe. This is a great issue. I just love the colors. 537. So how many issues have we been through now? 538. 539. 540. I think that's the first appearance. That last one was the first appearance of Fairchild, maybe someone like that. 541. 542. I had a lot of dupes of this, but I sold off a bunch. 543. I have two. Now, this is where you're going to start seeing a lot of dupes. 544. I had so many copies of this. It was ridiculous. 545. 546. 547. And then 548. Oh, Penguin down. Like he needs to be injured any further. But, all right. And then, after this, will be a decent amount. So, the one thing I have to say is I can't remember which issue number it is. But the first appearance of Cassandra Cain, I do not have raw. I have a graded copy of it, but that's about it. So, when you see that missing, just know that is the reason. I do have it, just not in the format that really works for a video like this. So, that's all she wrote with those guys. So pretty soon, we're going to be getting into No Man's Land. And after that, we'll be getting into the 600s, and then you poor people sitting there at home, if you've even watched this far, you'll be able to log off. So there's Penguin. This is, I think, the smallest key ever. Maybe it's introducing Chase. Yeah, maybe that's it. Here's Ragman. Don't you guys love to see Ragman, right? Isn't he your favorite? This is a great cover, though. Cataclysm. This is where I just think the art is all right. Not the best. 555. Not sets, but we'll see that later. 55 sets. 557. 558. Oh, very dark. 559. This is a great cover. I've always been a big fan of this with Lincoln in the background. Mr. Wayne goes to Washington. Mr. Wayne goes to Washington again. This time a little bit more threatening as you see Bruce's shadow. Oh, just covered in glass. Again, Joker with really a bad haircut. Now, I know he's supposed to be the clown, prince of crime, you know, full of chaos and everything like that, but I mean, so much to ask for a man to go to a hairdresser here and there. Fear of Faith. This is a creepy ass cover. I mean, he's got two guns maybe, or they blow guns, who knows? And you got Cassandra Cain right there, it looks like, or no, that's not Cassandra, it's some weird Batman skeleton thing. 566, and it's 67, right? Yep. So that's the missing piece. But these are two pretty neat covers, actually. So, there she is. 569. This, I believe, is the third appearance of Harley Quinn in main continuity. This, I used to have 2 copies of, because for some reason, I never put it into my CLZ app. So I bought a second copy. The second copy was beat to hell. I look at this copy as I'm browsing through my, my lawn bots here, and I'm like, Lord have mercy. What am I doing here? Two-Face. Lex Luthor, you dirtbag. Look at him. Huntress, carrying your baby. Bunch of knocked out guys. This always looked like Tim Sale to me. I know it's not, but Lord have mercy, it looks like Tim. 576. Not a huge fan of these books coming up, but what are you gonna do? This is a funny one though. That's pretty funny. I don't know what's up with this fella, but it's a key issue, I suppose. All right. Now, back to the short. Now this, I hope you guys, I mean, as amateur and unprofessional as this is, no cuts, maybe it, offers more insight. Because I gotta tell you, organizing all these books, it's not that hard, but damn if it isn't repetitive sometimes. You're flipping through book after book and you're like, when are things gonna change? When is this gonna be easy? Come on. And it never is. It's only easy when you're collecting concurrently, because then you just flip a new comic in right where the other ones end off, and you're like, you know what? Barely broke her sweat. Okay. So now we're getting into the 600s. So I will stop this stack, this specific stack, right at Hush. So Hush will be its own section. Now, if I knew what I was doing, I would timestamp this for you guys. But I don't, so I'm not going to. 580. Again, not the biggest fan of these covers. Just, not my favorite. I think they're kind of goofy, but might be a good read, I don't know. This is an interesting cover. Urban myth or reality? He's real. He ain't no bat, though. Penguin. This is kind of cool, actually. Little bit aggressive. This is a neat cover, too. I think I bought a couple versions of one of these. Matches Malone and Old Bats. I love Matches. Who doesn't like Matches? Him holding the mask right there. Yeah, not a big fan of this. Oh, Deadshot. Deadshot again. Not Deadshot. Batman breaking through something. This is a good cover. That's a really good cover. I should have posted this for Halloween. This is a neat cover, too. Santa, right in the background. This is Bill Sienkiewicz. I remember that. But just really neat. That's a cool cover, too. $5.98. This is an interesting one. $5.99. 600, baby. Huge milestone. We went almost to 300 comics. God. Crazy, right, guys? 601. 602. 603. This is a pretty cool cover. I like this one. This is another really cool cover. 604. Just bullets smoking off of the armor. Just really metal stuff. 605. 606. 607. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting to the part you've maybe been anticipating. I don't know. I have to say that this is really a selfish video. I always wanted people to make these videos where they went through the full run, and nobody ever did. Because maybe they think it's boring or whatever, and I guess that's where it's self-serving, because I don't find it all that boring. I quite enjoy looking through these books, but I'm also a huge Batman Volume 1 fan. So, take all that I say with a grain of salt. Well, you'd probably hope I was a big Batman Volume 1 fan. I have a lot of it. I have most of it. Everything except, the really expensive books that everybody wants. But hey, we're starting to get into some of the pricier parts, right? At least in the modern age. I think I feel a very big book there. Yes, I do. I feel a couple big books. Okay. You don't need to hold, you all don't need to topple down. Thank you very much. All right. So, $20 for this guy. I think that was overpaying slightly. $40, first appearance of Thomas Elliott. Sits 10. Sits 11. I like this Catwoman cover, but I don't know. Sits 12. I like Soups. Soups and Bats are, quite the combo. Then you got Catwoman and Harley and Batman. This is a great cover. I mean, who doesn't love this? Just broken teeth, just beating the hell out of the man. Can't really say poor man because I don't really care for the for Joker, but Sits 16. That's a pretty neat cover. Then you got Sits 17, and I think I have one of these issues. I have both the base issue and I also have a variant. Sits 18. Oh, here it is. Sits 19. This is kind of a boring one, but it's a perfect cover for Batman and Robin and Oracle. Here's the variant. It's a wraparound cover with all the villains. Sits 20. And some of these are really old bags, so I apologize. I mean, look how much slack there is in that. But what are you going to do? Brian Azzarello's got some work here. That's pretty neat. Sits 22. Sits 23. Now I think we are well over 300 issues that I've gone through. Sits 24. Sits 25. Sits 26. Sits 27. Sits 28. Sits 29. Sits 30. Sits 31. Sits 32. Sits 33. Sits 34. Two of those, I guess. The big one in a Mylar. Trust me, this isn't my Mylar because I don't own any. I just get them when I buy a book. Second appearance of Red Hood. Third. And then this is a very cool book. So $50, a little insane. I don't know why I paid that. But here, I have both variants of it. So I have Jason's, I have Bats. Very cool. I really hope I didn't pay $50. That's pretty insane. But what are you going to do? Grave consequences. Old friends, question mark? Batman and Superman. I mean, they always hit the spot. Come on. These two buddies, best of pals. Bats and Red Hood, fighting it out like an abusive dad and an abusive son do. Batman into the jaws of Killer Croc. Joker shooting upside down. Hey, you're upside down. I don't know, Joker. I beg to differ. All right, guys. I know you're counting down. How long's this kid been yapping for? That's what you're thinking. The answer is a really long time. I mean, God, you guys are still here. But soon, this will all be figured out. And we'll be right at the end. I mean, man, you know how many decades we've just covered? We started off in the 70s. Now we're in the 2000s. And we're going to end off in the 2010s. Which, how much stuff changed in those decades? I mean, thousands of things. But I'll stop my yapping. Stop my hemming and hawing. Now to plug a store. If you've never been to Sentiment Antiques, which is where I got a lot of these books, but not all of them, obviously. Only the ones with the best prices, of course. If you're ever in the New Jersey area, or if you live in the New Jersey area, head on down to Pennington. Go to Sentiment. They got some great stuff, man. It'll be well worth your visit, no doubt. Or your money back. I'm kidding. I can't guarantee anything like that. But it should be well worth the trip. And his pricing is really good. And he's very fair. So check out Mint Hunter and check out Sentiment Antiques. Great Black Mask cover. Sits 44. A Batman and Robin cover. Red Hood blowing shit up. Some guy in the background. This is a great... I think this was used for the hardcover, the trade paperback. Another good... All they do is watch us kill. Hey. What does that say? Hey, old buddy. Little help? I don't think you're going to get much help. But, you know, it's Batman we're talking about. He always helps out his pal, Joker. This I had a couple versions. Oh, no, this next one. So, sits 51. But I think I gave them away. Sits 52. Sits 53. Sits 54. Here we go. We're getting in the big bucks. $50. I think that's a fair price. I can't remember. Sits 55. Sits 56. Great cover between Damian Batman and Tim. Sits 58. Oh, sits 59. Ostrander. Another Ostrander and Mandrake. Grotesque. I need to give this sucker a read. Sits 62. This is a great cover, and it's a really interesting read. That's the way to put it. It's prose. It's not a comic, but it is a comic, kind of. But it's a good read. Longer read, but that's what you expect. Sits 64. Man, just beating the piss out of this guy. Morrison again. Sits 65. Here's a big buck right here. First Professor Pig, I believe, and there's a future where Damian's Batman. But this is a really neat book. This is another neat book. I love the cover art on this. Again, love the cover art on this one too. The weird little house. This one as well. Feels very kind of Bond-like, almost. Sits 69. Sits 70. Forget the key significance, but this does have some. The 700s don't really have any keys after this. Sits 71. 72. 73. 74. Now, if you're coming near me with that big ass drill, I'm sorry. No thank you. Sits 75. And Batman Rips at 76. Great Alex Ross cover. I mean, come on. Sits 77. Okay. We're coming to the end of the line, folks. Thanks for sticking with me so long, so far, and so long. Both of those work. It's the midnight hour where I am. I think we're getting pretty close to late in the night. And, yeah, I'm just glad I could show off all these Batman books. It's a really gratifying run to complete. I didn't complete it, obviously. But it can be, I mean, it's just great. The big thing that I would tell anybody who wants to collect Batman Volume 1 is really try to do it as affordably as you can. If you can find eBay lots for a good price, do that. If you can find, some of these in dollar bins, hell, 50-cent bins, do that. But I would say be wary of paying too much for a book when you know it's not right. Because you'll know. You'll be in a store and you'll see one of these books, right? Well, probably one of the books I showed you, especially the ones that were in the 600s. You'll see one of these books and you'll be like, man, that's high. That seems really high, and it's because it is. So sits 77, another Alex Ross, just beautiful, and a variant of the previous one. Sits 78. This has variants too, but again, Alex Ross, just beautiful. Alex Ross again. I mean, I'm saying this over and over again, but it's the truth. It's just, it's so great. Sits 80. Again, another great, all these weird fellas in the background. Sits 81. Sits 82. Sits 83. Come on, Alex Ross. I mean, like, can you drop the ball once? No, he can't. Because he's just so damn good. Sits 84. This is a great cover. Sits 85. And I have the alternative for the following issue. Sits 86. Part 1 of 2 of whatever happened in the Cape Crusader. Now, Neil Gaiman, unfortunately, has a lot of bad accusations against his name now. And I was a decent fan of him. I hadn't read a whole lot of his stuff, but his interviews always seem really interesting. But he now seems like he's kind of not a really good guy. But let me grab real quick. Alright, guys. Sorry for the wait, but I found the book I needed to find, and it's this guy. It's the alternative cover. It's a lot rougher, but it's a newsstand. I think it's a multi-pack, actually. But there are those guys next to each other. Then you have Sits 87, a Tony Daniel cover, I believe, of Sits 88. This is a great cover. Dustin Nguyen, I think. And no, Andy Kubert. I am so wrong. I am so sorry. So good, though. Another great cover, Sits 90. This is a goofy, but kind of something about it. It's kind of neat with this guy. Again, another neat cover, Sits 92. Again, no real keys in this part. Sits 93. Sits 94. A lot of Tony Daniel and these guys. Sits 94. 95, I mean. Sits 96. Sits 97. Riddler. Sits 98. Sits 99. And then one of the bigger ones, just a beautiful cover. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Just so perfect. I mean, look at the cast of characters here, too. I mean, just tremendous. 701. 702. 703. And we're getting towards the end. We only got 10 more issues after this, guys. 704. This is a great cover. Just Tony Daniel's the only one on this book. Just insane. This one, not as big a fan of, but it was from a line. There's a bunch of different covers like this, and so it is what it is. 707. 708. 709. 710. Wow, this is really crinkly. 711. Wow, again. 712. And then the big boy, 713. Now, can you imagine being able to say that you worked on the final issue of Batman Volume 1? Like, this has been running since spring of 1940. You know, all of the people who worked on this book, basically, at this time, are now dead. This is 2011, you know? So, I can't imagine it. It's so neat, and the cover artist is Tony Daniel. So, I mean, Tony Daniel is, you know, you get to have the iconic cork at the end of this, you know, huge bottle that's been going on forever. So, this will be what I use to finish out the video. So, thank you for staying for this long. I mean, like, I really appreciate it. And this is my first video. Hopefully, I'll do other ones, but at the minimum, I've contributed to the YouTube space by displaying all of these issues in a row, and this will be called my Batman run, 300 through 713, and I hope you enjoyed it.